Welcome to today's stock market news update. Let's start with the latest developments in the trade tensions between the United States and China. A CNBC article reported that China has placed sanctions on 5 United States subsidiaries of South Korea's Hanwha Ocean because of their connections to Washington. This step ramps up the friction between Beijing and Washington, following the United States' decision to add high fees on Chinese ships arriving at American ports. In return, China is now charging a fee of about $56 on American ships, and it has also introduced new rules to limit exports of rare earth materials while adding more United States companies to its restricted list. President Donald Trump then warned of adding 100% tariffs on Chinese goods, leading China to defend its rare earth limits as a fair response. These back-and-forth actions could shake up supply chains and influence market prices for goods and materials. Building on that, another CNBC article highlighted how shares of United States rare earth mining companies jumped on Monday after President Donald Trump warned China about retaliation for its tight controls on exporting key minerals. Trump first mentioned 100% tariffs starting November 1st, but later softened his tone, saying things with China would work out. At the same time, JP Chase announced it plans to put up to $10 billion into areas vital for United States national security, like critical minerals, through direct investments and startup funding. JP Morgan's CEO Jamie Dimon noted that the United States has grown too dependent on unstable sources for these essential materials. Plus, the Defense Department is speeding up plans to build a stockpile of critical minerals worth $1 billion, as reported by the Financial Times. Rare earths, which are part of these critical minerals, play a big role in things like weapons, robots, electric cars, and electronics, so these moves might affect industries and stock values in those sectors. Connected to these sea-related disputes, a Reuters article explained that the United States and China are now applying matching port fees on shipping companies that carry items from toys to oil, turning ocean trade into a major battleground in their economic conflict. China has begun collecting these extra charges on vessels owned, run, built, or flagged by the United States, but it exempted ships made in China from the fees. Such changes could raise costs for global trade and create more uncertainty in shipping markets. Shifting to domestic issues in the United States, another Reuters article shared that the federal government shutdown is beginning to hurt the country's economy, according to United States Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent. He spoke on Fox Business Network, saying this situation is turning serious and touching the real economy, though he did not give more specifics. Bessent also mentioned that to make sure military members get their pay, the government is delaying payments to other federal employees and holding off on services like those at Smithsonian museums and the National Zoo. A prolonged shutdown like this could slow down economic activity and impact investor confidence. On the energy front, an article from The Guardian covered how Trump administration officials have stopped a large solar power project in Nevada, dealing another blow to renewable energy efforts. The Bureau of Land Management updated the status of the Esmeralda 7 project to cancelled for its environmental review, as first noted by the climate publication Heat Map. This massive setup in southern Nevada was planned to span 185 square miles, roughly the size of Las Vegas, and involves 7 solar initiatives from companies like NextEra Energy Resources, Leeward Renewable Energy, Arevia Power, and Invenergy. Combined, it would have generated 6.2 gigawatts of power, enough for almost 2 million homes. This decision suggests a broader push against renewable sources beyond just wind, which could influence the growth of clean energy sectors and related investments. Finally, looking at relations between India and the United States, a Reuters article stated that the two countries will conduct trade discussions this week, with India committing to buy more energy and gas from the United States to ease Washington's worries about India's purchases of Russian oil. The talks paused for a short time in August after the Trump administration set tariffs as high as 50% on Indian products, claiming India was supporting Russia's war in Ukraine by keeping up oil buys despite Western restrictions. These negotiations might help stabilize trade flows and could have effects on energy markets worldwide. That's all for today's video. Stay tuned for more updates and don't forget to subscribe.